Of course I muted my microphone. Anyway, stay tuned for creative conversation on comics and news and reviews, all coming up to you next on Comic Book Spectrum. Let's get down to where we need to start the countdown.
10 seconds.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
Welcome to Comic Book Spectrum, a Rising Tide Broadcast Network production. Get ready to explore the world of comics, past, present, and future, with our panelists Eric Hawkins, Brian Rodman, and Clyde Hall. And now here's your host, Brian K. Morris.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Comic Book Spectrum. Hope you're looking forward to the show, because I know we are. We're going to have some fun for the next hour or so. We're going to talk comics. We'll talk to you. But be sure to put your comments in the line there, and we will try to read them all. Anyway, we are a part of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Please check out our Facebook page for a full schedule, and stay tuned later tonight for after Comic Book Spectrum for Stupid O'Clock and Last Man Standing following that, plus a full day tomorrow. Check us out. Rising Tide Raises All Ships, and sign up for the Rising Tide Broadcast Network page on Facebook. Plus, thank you to everyone who is our Patreon subscriber. Thanks to you, we stay on the air and we grow and thrive with your contributions. Check us out what we offer in return for your financial support at www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. And I think we got, we need to talk about our regular sponsor, and that is Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. If you want a great cover for your book or your comic book or what have you, contact Jeffrey Hayes at Plasma Fire Graphics. Also, check out their Facebook page, see some great printed samples, and then go to plasmafiregraphics.com and check more samples out. And you can get in touch directly with Jeffrey Hayes and ask him about his independent, creator-friendly pricing for book trailers, covers, graphics to help you sell your stuff on social media. They've got it all. Check them out. It's Plasma Fire Graphics. When the look of your book matters to you, because it definitely matters to your readers. And we've got comments lining up here, but first we must talk to the other members of the Fab Five. Here they are: Mr. Brian Rodman, Eric Hawkins, the Pro Slayer, Joe D. McFee, and Clyde Hall. Gentlemen, how the heck are you?
Well, you know, other than the fresh enema that I had this morning, feeling pretty good.
Well, it's good. Well, you deserve the best, Brian. So I'm glad you're finally trading up to fresh ones instead of those recycled ones.
I made sure they made bleach. I made sure they used bleach this time.
Oh, good idea.
Was it one of those coffee enemas?
With bleach. They cleaned me and caffeinated me. It was a twofer. Yeah.
Okay, good. Anyway.
Yes! Destroyed the rails before we even started.
We don't need those damn things. What are you talking about? So anyway, and Joe's like, why do I sign up for this?
It's like, what have
it's like, why are you talking about rails? There have never ever been rails. It's all in your mind.
The rails aren't
real.
There is no rail.
Rails are a quantum construction, is what it is.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Schrodinger's rails.
It's true
do we have or do we not?
It's true superposition. If you're going to go scientific,
yeah,
you don't know that they're there, but you can't say that they're not there.
Exactly.
because you don't know the condition in which they are there.
I'm sure we've damaged them beyond any recognition. Just in the modest time the five of us have spent together. So, there went my heart monitor telling me my warranty's up. Anyway, yeah, breathe, Brian, breathe. Anyway, maybe I'm talking to the wrong one. Tell you what, let's just go around the room here and tell you what. Maybe it always starts some confusion whether I'm doing this clockwise or anti-clockwise or to the right or whatever. So I'm just going to grab you guys at random, okay?
Oh, please do, sir.
Yeah. Grab away, Brian.
Yes.
Okay, they're clean, ready.
I told you I'm freshly ready for you this morning.
Oh, you say that now, but
He said morning, but wait a second, it's 6:00 at night. So what?
I'm from the future, Joe. Or the past, whichever one.
There we go. Well, while he's taking a drink, there we go. He's first.
Hello. Hi, I'm Brian Rodman, and other than enemas, I enjoy comics, as you should as well. And if you want some good comics, head to brianrodman.com right here. There you will find a link to all my social media stuff. My Patreon page, we've got a really cool web comic going on right now called The Princess Warriors. And you can also head to the shop there, and you will find my 2 ongoing series right now, Memoirs of an Angel. It's a dark fantasy. It's like Lord of the Rings meets The Exorcist. And The Nebulizer, which is like TMNT meets Mad Max. It's a lot of fun. And you can also find me on the Dastardly Dingoes podcast network. If you missed this past episode, we did our review of the Batman, spoiler free, and we enjoyed it. We talk about it, and go see how Chad's opinion does not matter one bit. So yeah, that's all for me. Thanks.
Well, no, thank you. And now that knowing how personal a project the Nebulizer is, now that you've mentioned enemas, I can't wait to see your next Kickstarter campaign.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, thank you, Brian, I think. And here he is with his head down, thinking I wasn't noticing. There's Jody McFee shaking his head, wishing he could hide. But anyway, Joe, you're up.
I'm not wishing that I could hide. The thing that I've been thinking about is like a certain person needs to go back into his Alvy suit for safe protection, because we don't want what happened last week to happen again.
Well,
so with that being
I
said,
make no promises.
Place your bets.
Yep.
But one promise I can make here is that you will enjoy our flagship comic here, Amazonia here, even though I'm currently sitting here sketching in my sketchbook concept sketches for characters for the AWF series, because I'm taking back over the artwork starting in issue number 5, and we're getting into the history of one of the characters here. So that's the reason why I had my head down. But you can always catch me at my show from the Desolate Small Press Publisher every Saturday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 o'clock Eastern, or you can catch me here for Comic Book Spectrum. I'm also, like I mentioned, I'm also the creator of AWF, Amazonia, and one of the few 3D rendered comic books that's in existence that's out there in the world as of right now, which is Primetime Saturday Night, which is the longest running episodic greatest wrestling program in comic book history. So always remember that here. And our issue number 4 for that series will be coming out soon, as well as issue number 7 of Amazonia.
Most excellent. Thank you, Joe.
Yep.
And here he is, the elder statesman among us all. Well, actually, I'm older than he is. But anyway, the wisest of us all, Mr. Clyde Hall.
Well, thanks for grabbing me, bro. Oh! Won't you loosen your grip? Oh, thank you. Okay.
I think it was Rodman.
That was a different Brian, Clyde.
Oh. The one with the cold hands. Well,
Yes.
in a world divided between collective memory and Mandela effects, my tribe makes up our own facts. Because I reside in the alternate reality, which is the the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. I'm Clyde Hall, independent author and contributing writer at Comics Bookcase, www.comicsbookcase, all one word.com, where every Wednesday we put the finest NCBD new comic reviews, news, and interviews up. I also have some features and reviews at www.doomrocket.com. So go there and subscribe to their weekly podcast, Casual Wednesdays. And I am a contributing writer to Stormgate Press and the Pulp Reality series. We have Pulp Reality 1, 2, and 3 available on Amazon. This is number 3. And you should also go to www.stormgatepress.com to see the full variety of publications we have in the new pulp genre, with work from people like, Brian K. Morris, Charles F. Milhouse, Ted Davies, Candace Camilleri, Stephen Burks, Clayton Merwin, Bobby Nash, Scott Donnelly, Carl Dietrich, and coming soon to Stormgate Press near you, Brian Rodman. But don't let that drive you away. And we have others.
Perfect.
And naturally, I get to hang out with these wacky weirdos every Thursday night right here at Comic Book Spectrum.
Thank you very much, Clyde. And here he is, the Pro Slayer himself, Mr. Eric S. Hawkins. Eric.
Yeah, it looks like Ted's off the hook tonight, and Clyde's going after Brian.
I know, right? I like it.
I am
He grabbed me first, okay? With the cold hands.
And the night is young.
I'm Eric S. Hawkins, the creator of the Zombieful World of Oz, which issue 4 will be launching April 8th. And we already have the sign up for a Kickstarter, and we already have 56 followers already.
Nice.
So yeah, I dropped the link in the comments. So if you want to go sign up for it, it's there. Find out what happened to Dorothy after she grew up and had to go back to Oz. Other than that, I think that's about it. You know, I draw, I write, I love Moon Knight. Oh yeah, can't wait.
Almost as much as Brian likes a clean rectal track. But anyway, thank you so much, Eric. And leave it to me to bring the show down. Anyway, I'm Brian Morris, independent publisher, editor, writer, Facebook famous YouTuber, award-winning playwright and former mortician's assistant, and happier than heck because my next convention is going to be the first Saturday of April. I believe it's April 2nd. I don't have my schedule with me, but anyway, I'll be bringing some new publications, including Zlonk Zok Zowie. This is a series of books, a trilogy of books about the 1966 Batman television show with commentary from some very prominent people. And as if this weren't enough, we also have Biff Bam Eow, which has an article by myself in there, and also Oof Boff Splat. Ask for them by name. Don't get the names wrong. And we'll have all 3 of those along with Snow Ambition in paperback form, plus some other surprises. So please come see us. We've got a full agenda in April, and I'm happier than heck to be here along these wacky fellows here. So let's start out with comments, and I bet we've got them from our audience. And Donna Carly speaks for us all, and it's Thursday. We are so glad you're here, Donna. Mwah. And of course, we've got Carl Witzman, the bot slayer himself. What kind of liquor goes best with Comic Book Spectrum? I'm guessing bourbon. Eric, What would you say?
I would suggest Stumpy's Old Monroe Pecan Pie Whiskey.
Oh,
made right here in Illinois. If you're craving that pecan pie taste after Thanksgiving, it's perfect for coffee and hot chocolate.
Nice.
Or straight.
And also, Hellboy's Hellwater, straight from hell, so you know it's good.
You haven't even opened that.
I won't. I'll say this. I will open this and drink it the day that I'm published by Dark Horse.
There you go. Well, that'll be any minute now, I think.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
And also,
hold on. Here we go. Caught me sleeping.
Now, what goes good liquor-wise with Comic Book Spectrum? It's good that you should ask, because in The Wrong Earth, #1, Trapped on Team Planet, this week. They have it's a send up of Archie comics with our reality traversing hero, the hard boiled dragonfly, ending up in a Riverdale. Basically a parallel to Riverdale. So we also have a nice pinup, but in the back, to be very much in the kind of Ahoy Comics thing, they have a thing called The Right Drink, the Right Time, the Guide to Everyday Drinking in Sun Valley. Sun Valley is their Riverdale. So we have recipes here for their version of Shirley Temples, their your parents' martinis, your dad's Cabernet, and the Sun Valley mudslide. So I thought of Ted and Carl and Donna when I saw that and looked over the recipes, going, this might make some entries for Ted and Christine show.
There we go.
You mean Christine's show with Ted occasionally on there?
Yep.
With Sideshow Ted, yes.
Sideshow Ted?
Ted's on that show?
Sorry, Ted.
No, you are. Don't lie.
Yes,
Wow. That's a new one. Ted.
Oh, my God. That's funny.
That's a new persona.
Sideshow Ted. I like that. Well, the thing is, Ted and Christine are going to be taking a couple weeks off soon. We could move in there. We could have our drinks in there. So you never know. Anyway,
if you'd actually like to see Ted, head down to Lexington.
Yeah,
that's right.
See Ted and Brian.
That's right. And
because I'll be there.
And Christine,
yeah, and Damien, and Chad, and Jeremy.
Oh, wow. Chad's going to be there? Man,
Yeah,
I was thinking about driving down there, but
I don't blame you.
You don't have to pick me up, Eric. That's okay now. Anyway, no, actually, we could go in my brand new van. We got a van.
All right,
getting a van
road
today.
trip.
Ooh,
that's right. It's huge. Of course, I hear that all the time. But no.
From little people.
Oh,
well, yeah.
Ooh.
That's sad.
But their hearts are big. And
that's only a 5-hour drive for me.
That's not bad. I think it's about 5 hours for me too. So
it's a great show, guys. It's a really good show.
I wish I could go. I think I've got a show that day, unfortunately. But anyway, Carl Witzman mocks us with the laughter, and Donna Carlene says, "I'm guessing any that can get you through this show." That's there's something to be said for that. And Lissy says, "Hello, Lissy. Mwah. Glad to see you here." Everyone's saying hello to Lissy, ignoring us, which I understand. And good evening, superheroes. Fab Five, Ted Davies Artistry. Check them out Tuesday mornings and Thursday mornings at 10 a.m. and then drinking with the Davies.
Ted is here.
Sorry,
Fanboy Ted is here.
Fanboy Ted, courtesy of Sideshow Ted. Nice, Fanboy Ted. We've got the nicknames for you, Ted. You could be our mascot here, and everyone's saying hello to each other. And Mark Leonard is saying greetings from the prairie. Professor Leonard, good to see you as always. Hope you and the family are doing well. And comics and colon cleaning. Nice.
What could anyone want more of?
Two great hobbies that go great together.
Exactly.
It's not just for breakfast anymore. Anyway, Carl Winston says, I am glad that I chose the bourbon after all. Yeah, I hope you can share, Carl. And Ryan Burmison says, hello, everyone. How are you, CBS crew? Let's see. I'm fine. Anyway, hope you're doing well, too. And who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? Ted Davies? The shadow knows. Ha, ha, ha. I got the slab, and you don't.
Oh, ouch. Ouch.
Ted's just getting clobbered tonight, man.
I can see why he's taking a couple weeks off. Probably let his backside heal up. But anyway, everyone say hello. And is Joe D ready for me this Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern? Asks Ryan Permisson. Why would that be? From the desk of a small press publisher on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network? I say tune in and find out. All right. And Stumpy's is good, says Lissy. And we have my darling here, Lacey Lemke, mwah, wonderful author, model, and does everything well. And she will be with me at SalukiCon on the 15th, I believe it is, of next month down in Carbondale, Illinois at the Southern Illinois Student Union. It's going to be a lot of fun. And Lacey says their lemon drop whiskey is good too. Is that for imbibing, or is that something Mr. Rodman should be aware of because of the sanitizing feature on it? So anyway, ooh, pecans, says Donna Carly. And
It's really good. I mean, really good in hot chocolate too. It's like, whoa, that's awesome.
We may have to negotiate you bringing a extra bottle to. Are you going to be at SalukiCon, Eric?
No.
Why don't you come to SalukiCon and bring me a bottle of that hooch with you? I think it's a good plan.
Don't see how that benefits me.
I would pay you back.
You get to see Brian.
Yeah.
Again, how does that benefit him?
So, what else is going on, guys?
Let's find out.
You can come by here, pick me up. We could do the Smokey and the Bandit routine, get down there very fast.
Oh, if I still had my Trans Am, we would.
There,
1980 with T-tops. Oh, it was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, probably never leaves the garage either.
Oh, it's gone. It's long gone.
Oh well. I'll take you around the block in my van. I'm going to write free candy on the side. I'm sure Cookie won't mind. Anyway, Lissy says that sounds good too. Stumpy says
cops are going to love that.
Yeah.
Better free candy than free tacos if you get my drift.
Yeah, good point. Good point, Joe. Follow us for more life hacks. Anyway, that sounds good too, says Lissy. Stumpy's is distilled in my county, so it's easy to find. And hey, Rodman, where is my memoirs trade?
Did you buy one?
Well, if you're just looking for a trade, sign up for the Zombie World of Oz #4 on Kickstarter, launching April 4th. Issues 1 through 3 will be in paperback and hardback, and all the hardbacks will have a sketch inside.
If you're referring to a trade that you got on the Kickstarter, you will be it will be shipping out to you this month because I'm finishing the issue now, actually currently right now, and it'll be swooping out to you all this month. So there you go.
Real quick, since Rodman uses the same printer I do, he probably got an email yesterday announcing one of their new features, a centerfold.
Yep.
Ooh.
I'm interested. Anyone I know?
No, you could put a centerfold in your book now.
Yeah, of me.
Flip out 3-page centerfold.
How do they do the licensing? Because again, there's a lot of good centerfolds out there. I wonder how they pick and choose which model get to be in the center of your book.
They got me.
Yeah, this one.
I don't
here.
understand what the confusion is. They said, "Hey,
Carl and Brian would want Barbie Benton." So.
Yeah, it said Bears, Beats, and Battlestar Galactica. There's Brian. Let's do it. All right.
That's right. Wearing nothing but a smile and a baseball glove.
I just keep having an image of
baseball glove.
Because when you look at me, you think sports. That's
right, my guy.
Yeah,
I want to run around his bases. That's for sure.
This seems like a feature that would be misused, like with a Spencer Spook trade paperback with a Brian fold out with a fez up pose.
Yes. Oh, there's so many possibilities here. Hey, Brian, I'll draw it and put it in the book for you. All right.
Sounds good. Yeah. Since
I have
like
no
my regular artist is having a strike right now, or is it a stroke? I'm not sure. Let's see. Where was I? Oh, yeah, here we go. Ted Davies is trying to one-up us, saying, yes, Ryan, but do you have Retrieve #1 slab? You should. Direct message for purchase. LOL. Go to TedDaviesArtistry.com and get your copy today. And don't let him go. Don't get him going in that damn car.
So I had this car. It was actually my mom's car. And when I turned 16, she gave it to me.
Okay.
And in 1991, 91. There's just not enough room in one of those old Trans Ams for a car seat.
Oh, yes.
So I traded that car in for a Chevy Cavalier.
Oh.
All right.
And Alyssa will tell you that I blame her. I don't blame her. The car was on its downhill slide. I had to replace a water pump every 6 months in it. But I also even got rid of my mullet at that time too.
Oh my God!
It all had to go at the same
Lissy,
time.
thank you.
Thank
you very much.
All I have to say is, Eric, the picture that surfaced of you, it made me want to.
I seen your picture.
Yeah, it inspired a character called the Phantom Mullet, and pics to come. That's all I have to say.
I will tell you what, a lot of people in that era that had the mullets had to go get them permed. Not me, baby.
Natural. That's
Mine
right.
was natural, curly, full of body. That's why it looked like it wasn't that long, but that went down the middle of my back when it was wet. But once it dried, poof.
Yeah, got the nice.
I wear it in a ponytail, man. I was.
Oh, I bet you were hot stuff. Actually, I lost my virginity when I saw that picture. I'm just saying.
There wasn't anyone else around either.
I don't know how I got it back, but that's a different mystery.
Yes, Joe.
There's just so many jokes with that.
Yep.
Oh, why the hell not?
What does that mean, Brian?
What does what mean?
That you're in your what? You're no longer secondary. You went past tertiary. That what? You're a quintarian virgin now.
Not
For
anymore.
how many
because
times you have lost it and reclaimed it?
I guess I reclaimed it. Yeah, I don't know how that happens, but you know what?
Saying nobody else wanted it?
I'm taking it back.
Only thing I can say is that you're a very, very, very devout person if you reclaimed it for a fifth time.
Thanks. You know what? It's better when you reclaim it and then give it away again. It's like the gift that keeps on giving, really.
Like the clap.
Right.
If you're happy and anyway, yeah. So here we go. Ryan Permison said, I supported your Kickstarter, Rodman.
That's right. I remembered it as soon as you said something and I questioned your purchase. That's when I was like, oh yeah, I did a Kickstarter. So yeah, that's happening. And you will get it this month, sir.
And that's the kind of customer service you will get from Brian
That's
Rodman.
right. Because I not only am I inconsistent, but forgetful too.
You can count on Brian to let you down.
On the forgetfulness. So that's what you can always count on.
And that's
so
where
always
I can
depend
say,
on the dependability of Brian Rodman to forget about something.
But at least he will ship out the book.
Exactly.
That's true.
I will.
Let's move on. Anyway. Oh, how he teases on that damn car. Let's get stuck on that. And Sideshow Ted Centerfold coming to a comic book near you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Where does the bone go?
Yes.
What is that staple hiding? So anyway, Carl Winston says, I think I'll need some more bourbon on this Sunday. I would see if Meyer delivers. You know what I'm saying, Carl? You need some help here. And let's see. All right, do we have? Okay. He's got to be talking about you. J.D. Smith, Digital Artist says, Brian, Joe, Clyde, Eric, good to see you. It must be me and you four. So there we go. And where is that mature audience's sign? Well, let's see. That you can cover things up in StreamYard, like the little menus and such, if you think you don't need them. I just had to open mine up because I didn't know. So anyway, okay, there we go. I think we lost Eric. Okay, there's as close to mature as we get. Or we can do the strobe thing. But no, we probably better do this. You're right. Oh, no, we need something else here. Hold on a second here. Hold on. Let me find it. Okay, here we go. The opinions expressed on this program are those of the hosts, the guests, as well as the audience, and are not necessarily the opinions of other members of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. And who can blame them? Anyway.
Or normal society.
Or reasonable people.
Yeah. Or mammals, or anyway. Grant Lankard, hello, kids. Grant, it's good to see you. You may be questioning your life choices right about now, however, as many of us are here. And hey, Grant, you came in just at the weirdest time. I'll vouch for that. And hi, Grant. Welcome to Chaos, says Donna Carly. And Grant is like, Carl and Donna, he forgot to type out the rest of it, which was protect me. Anyway.
Grant's like, what have I done? Oh, no.
What fresh hell is this? So,
Yeah.
I thought you guys talked about comic books.
Yeah.
That's what you fail to realize. Everything in life is a comic book.
That's true. That's true. Even anyway, yeah, try to dismiss that from your minds now.
That's right, suckers.
No, I'm stopping. Anyway, so I just killed Brian. Anyway, I have money on that. So anyway,
See, I told you, go get that Avi suit right now. You'll be okay.
Eric, are you drawing a Trans Am for the show tonight?
No, but I can probably find a picture of it.
Well, what is the agenda tonight for your
tonight is Herman P. Hunter's The Revenant and the Tomb. It's a novel available on Amazon right now. It's kind of like you want these fantasy like novels, like a Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones kind of thing. And the author is our co-host on the show, and we're going to be drawing his characters tonight.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool. I had to talk to you guys when my next book comes out, The Terrors. It's superhero-y.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we do anything. I mean,
yeah,
that's what I hear.
This isn't superhero.
Oh.
You think we're wild? I mean, I tell you. So anyway, no, I think I'll do that. Thank you, Eric. So anyway, since we kind of sort of had non-volunteers to start the show in introductions, does anyone want to volunteer to go first?
I will.
All right, Clyde Hall. He's going to ruin the rest of us that have to follow him. Curse you, Clyde.
He's like, I'm getting this over and getting out of here.
Yeah, man.
Clyde's like, I still have a reputation. I work with a library, for the love of God. Still, before they change the locks,
it's a bad
the
reputation.
show is over.
It's a bad reputation, but it's still a reputation. So,
all right, the rebel of the library. I like it.
That's right. He's a rebel, and he'll never be any good, except when he's giving reviews, and that's our very own Clyde Hall. Clyde, take it away.
I've been fighting a head cold this week, so I thought if I do it early, I won't have to worry about if I get all clogged up later. So, and also,
you know what helps? Getting clogged
you know what
up.
helps when you get clogged up?
I don't want to know. But
exactly,
I have a book this week that I think Brian Rodman is going to appreciate. When I mentioned it, you got all excited about the John Carpenter element to this book.
He was still thinking of my senior picture.
We all are, Eric.
Yes, we are. Well, what I'm going to review this week is John Carpenter's Tales of Science Fiction Civilians, #1 of 3. They have been putting these out since, I think, 2017, where they do a 3-issue block, and it's John Carpenter's Tales of Science Fiction, and then the title. And so Civilians is the title of this one. And they come out sporadically. They kind of fell off during the pandemic, but now they have launched this new one. And I think it's the first time in about a year. So it is by Storm King Comics. It's $3.99. It is written by Dwayne Swierczynski. Pencils are by Andrea Muti. The inks are by Gigi Baldacchini. Colors by Valerio Alaro. The letters by Janice Chang. And the maturity level, it is definitely rated mature. And while I write for various sites, this is my own independent feature. It should not be considered representing any views of those sites, including Comic Book Spectrum. So, as we get into this, I'll show you some of the artwork. If you remember, Andrea Muti, his work has been in Bunny Mask.
Oh,
and
okay.
I was glad to see him doing something apart from that, because I think he has a really good flair. Oh, and the Maniac of New York, he has a good flair for horror, and this is a very horrific science fiction tale. But it starts off pleasantly enough. We are on the Santa Monica Pier. It's very sunny. It's nice. You have throngs of people, as you will usually have on a nice beachfront day. One young man has put down his Sutter Kane book, his new book by Sutter Kane, and he's I knew you'd like that. And he's walking out into the water with some of the other folks, and it doesn't seem like that would be the start of a horrific set of events. But as our friend, the conspiracy theorist, in this page will tell us, odd things are afoot across the globe, and the Santa Monica Pier is just one of them. We also have people falling from the sky right onto a highway. Yes. And people trying to do their panic stops to avoid tragedies.
Nice.
And last but certainly least, we have
civilians.
A riot in downtown Beverly Hills. So this book, it owes a lot to the cinematic elements, which is appropriate, for a John Carpenter themed book. In interviews, Alfred Hitchcock spoke about building suspense in his films by revealing dangers to the audience, but sharing more with the onlookers than the characters on the screen were aware of. So, despite this insight, the audience could only watch with growing apprehension as characters blissfully went about their day while threats mounted. Or worse, they cluelessly added to the pending tragedy. All the while, the audience, their unease rises, and they are made more maddening by the situation because they're trapped. They can't yell a warning to the people on the screen, even if they want to. And that makes them just serving as tragedy's witness to the deaths about to occur. There's a really strong theme of that in John Carpenter's Tales of Science Fiction Civilians #1. The characters in there have a similar but more personal experience. They slowly become aware of a pending danger to themselves, but are unable to alter the course of events. Literally. In the Santa Monica, California scene, one of the best opening lines I've read is right there. And it says, "It was a beautiful day for a mass casualty event." But this is no inexplicable beaching of 100 whales or mule deer in great number falling from mountain passes to their demise without any apparent reason. In what onlookers mistake for some kind of flash mob event, crowds of people are enjoying the day near the Santa Monica Pier, get up from their beach blankets, and they begin walking toward the surf. And they don't stop. Now, we're privy to the thoughts of that young man, the Sutter Kane fan. He is being kind of swept along in this group, curious about what they see. Is there a boat in trouble? And people ahead are responding to help and leading others there? He's not really sure. He drops that book, and then, like the trapped audience, he slowly becomes aware that he can't stop. He's watching himself and many others around him walk into the water, stepping deeper and deeper until they are submerged. And yet, they keep marching onward until finally they drown. And it's not the only such instance. Around the world, other groups of people are also exhibiting equally odd, equally fatal behavior. In the aftermath, we meet Allie, mother of a drowned son in the Santa Monica event. And as they both fought many hard years to get away from very violent home life, she does not believe that the drownings were some sort of mass suicide, as experts are speculating. So she's flying to L.A. intent on proving that, finding out exactly what did happen. Hank is a resident of a Skid Row tent village, and Vi, a Vietnamese medical student. They're brought together in the aftermath of homeless people raining down from the sky, as you saw in the one panel. Meanwhile, a naked man leaving his shower and cluelessly joining a crowd of strangers rioting in Beverly Hills becomes our fourth protagonist, one that can't remember his own identity, but who is compelled in similar manner to that beach crowd. So, is it some form of mind control or an apocalyptic mass hysteria, suicide behavior, or as proposed by our online conspiracy theorist, podcaster Walter Ballard in this story, is it a triggered consciousness to physical body phenomenon based upon DNA? Writer Dwayne Zerwinski's hook is set very hard and very deep with those dangled possibilities, and it manages to elevate our unease with all of them in this premiere issue. His mention of Sutter Kane and the discarded Kane novel, The Breathing Tunnel, may merely be fan service connected to the 1994 John Carpenter film In the Mouth of Madness. Excellent film. Yes. Or it could have deeper significance given that film dealt with a blurring between fiction and nightmare and reality within a tale which was written to honor H.P. Lovecraft's horror themes and tropes. The pencils of Andrea Moody are inked by Gigi Baldacchini in this issue, and Moody's style remains, I think, a great fit for modern horror. His work on Aftershocks Maniac of New York and Buddy Mask, like I said, are preludes to the nocturne of death that he delivers in this #1 issue. Colors of Valerio Alero enhance the break with reality elements posted in the storyline because he has this stylistic obscuring of edges in sequences. It's a process that conjures visibly wavering, weakening boundaries between what could be real and what could be imagination, dreaming, or some sort of strange inner dialogue going on in the characters' brains. Janice Chang's letters use distinctive fonts between conversation and eerie sing-song chants. Her variety of text enclosures, balloons, podcast, speaker talk is strong and distinctive, and her sound effects make for panic-stopping piercings when brakes lock and screech in protest, but it's the softer noises, the sound of impacts as very breakable bodies plummet until they dead stop on the highway concrete that give her work a grim finality and a voice to the horror. The first issue of this #3 issue series is taut writing with horrific happenings, unsettling visuals, and a descending end times devastation which can only grow more dire as these mass casualty events increase and worsen. So, my score for John Carpenter's Tales of Science Fiction Civilians, because of the happy-go-lucky kind of era that it has about it, the first issue is 8.5 out of 10.
Nice.
Wow, very good.
That's a good first issue Clyde rating.
It is. It really, I mean, I was hooked hard with those characters.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very small bits about each one, but each time, each introduction, you care about what's going to happen to them, and you get a glimpse at that domestic home life, and you're like, yeah, for some young guy to die in a mysterious event like this, after he and his mom have fought hard to get out of a terrible relationship and a dangerous home life, it doesn't make a lot of sense, and you can feel her need for answers. Mm-hmm. As the main, I think that's the main linchpin of it. But.
Nice, sounds good.
Well, once more, Clyde, you can continue to make me poorer. So well done.
Hey, it's a $3.99 book, and we've been spending more for some of the DC stuff coming out and things like that. Some of the even some of the independents, $4.99. So I was impressed that it's 3 issues. It's $3.99. I think it's quite a bargain, and it's also worthwhile going back and looking at some of the other ones in this series. Of some of them have very high ratings. I think one of them, everybody peaked at about 9 overall. Oh, wow. Now there's one, I can't remember all the titles, but there's one issue that apparently did not succeed very well. It could have been because of the pandemic, though. I tend to look further into it, but it ranked about a 4.5. Yeah, so there's varying degrees of quality, but do some look up some reviews, look up the different titles, and I think you may find another series to invest even larger in. So,
most excellent. Another investment. We'll never be wealthy again. Anyway, we have J.D. Smith Digital Arts asks, "Is this an Aftershock book?"
No, it's his own imprint. It's called Storm King.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. Storm
right.
King Comics.
Excellent. All right.
I had never heard of them until this, but
yeah, I've never heard of them either.
yeah.
No.
Check it out.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Speaking of sounding good, there's Cindy Cap. Howdy after a long workday. CKOEPP.com. Check out that website. And the Loop Guru, he come for you. And Carl Wilson says, haha, love the red line under the conspiracy theory like he's on YouTube. Okay.
Nice.
And Ryan Purvis says, retrieve number 1 slabbed might be worth something. I'll consider it, Ted. And then Dave Zardistry goes, good, young Padawan. Permission good. All right.
He says Padawan.
Yeah.
But I'm
sounds
thinking
more like Palpatine.
Yeah.
I think he means apprentice.
Apprentice,
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Very good.
Lord Vader.
Ryan Permission, you will bring balance to the Force
Hey, wait.
by attacking a daycare.
Don't we need to
Oh, there
vote?
goes the channel.
Don't we need to vote on Joe's comic reviews?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. We do need to vote on Joe's comic
Yeah.
reviews. Joe, you want to tease it for us?
Well, the 3 that we got for tonight here, we got War for Earth 3 by DC Comics. We got She-Hulk number 2. And on the independent side, we got Carriers number 2. Like,
Well, you lost me at DC, but you came back with She-Hulk, so I vote She-Hulk.
like movie phone, please choose now.
And choose wisely. And first in the gate is JD Smith, Digital Arts, who votes for Carriers. I don't know which one I
got to go with that too.
Yeah.
I really do. I want to hear that one.
Okay. And we got another one. Cindy Kemp says Carriers because of the bird on the cover. And this lady, if you want her to give you the bird, go to Bear Publications and get you some Animal Eye comics. Number 1 and 2 are in digital form now. And also you can get all kinds of cool Animal Eye swag. Brian here is the master of the segue. Anyway, Donna Carlene votes for She-Hulk. Why don't we make it that? Yeah, there we go. Why don't we make it whoever wins gets reviewed this week, and then next week do the other one if you don't have anything fresh you want to offer. How's that sound?
No, that's what I normally do.
Oh, good. Well, then you agree with me. So obviously, it's the correct thing.
It's a good thing you pay attention, Brian.
When did you get here? Anyway, so
that's like me with my Kickstarters, apparently.
So anyway, let's see. Oh, here we go. JD Smith elaborates on his vote, saying, I vote Carriers because no one reads DC.
Uh-oh.
And we're going to check out the Marvel book anyway, so let's do the rare one. I'm going to give DC some love. Anyway, and Carl Winston votes for She-Hulk as well.
This will make you feel better. There you go, buddy.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. Who loves you, baby?
Boy, I don't need to
Right
have that
now,
treatment.
that means it's 3 to 3.
3 to 3.
3-0. 3-3-0.
Well, let's see. I think Clyde, have you voted yet?
No, I was inclined to go with Earth 3 because I wanted to see what Joe said about it. I read it and I just kind of wanted to see. That doesn't help your tie.
It's like 3-3-1.
Okay, it's 3-3-1. The next vote, unless it's for
No, what was your vote? We didn't get your vote yet.
Oh, mine. Oh, gosh.
Brian has the power.
I have the power. No, actually, I was interested in 2, but for the sake of actually coming to a regular decision and not prolonging the agony, because prolonging the agony on this vote would really be cruel. And any attempts to stretch
just give
this
more
out,
people the time to vote.
that would work too. Anyway, that's one joke. Anyway, I'm actually going to vote for Carriers.
Yeah.
Carriers going once. Carriers going twice.
All right, what about what's going on with Ted? Ted, I know you're out there, and Ryan, I know you're out there.
Oh, we have another vote from the one.
It's like, yeah, JD Colorado comes out of nowhere to go like that too.
Yes.
JD, thank you for being here, brother. It's good to see you, my man. Check out this broadcasting from JD Calderon. He does some great broadcasting on Sunday night, I believe it is. Always interesting, great guest. Check him out. He's a good buddy of ours. So it looks like Carriers is kind of leading the day, and we're going to give Ted Davies another 30 seconds to weigh in.
Well, we could do another review before.
Yeah, before
True.
we
Do
close.
have to go. Let people give it. Carriers.
Okay, who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay, Brian Rodman is going to go next. Oh, wait a second. We have a vote for Ted.
He said not.
Carriers not.
That's a negative vote then.
That's a negative vote. That counteracts mine. Thanks for nothing, Ted.
Yeah, it's like out of the three, which one? You got Carriers, you got the She-Hulk #2, and you got War for Earth 3.
I had to switch my vote, but anyway, before I do, let's we can wait a second. Yeah, JD Smith is right. Ted Davies is a real party pooper. He's doing it deliberately, is what he's doing. We're on to him, but let's go with Brian Rodman. Let's hear the great review from Mr. the one, the only. We can only hope, Brian Rodman.
If there's more than one, oh no, I feel so sorry for you people. So this week I am going to cover a couple books by my arch nemesis, Chad Nuss. Yes, that's right. The Chadwick from the Dastardly Dingoes podcast. May God have mercy on his soul. So I will say this. His book is called The Silence, and right now he has 2 issues out. They can be purchased at thesilencecomics.com. And I got to say, just from the cover of the first issue, now I got this issue back when it was at my local comic shop a few years ago, when he first released it, because he's recently re-released it in hardback, along with issue 2, which we'll get to this in a minute. So if you like Blade Runner, you are going to love this series. And if you like, it's like Blade Runner meets The Crow, the graphic novel. As far as the look, the pace, the pausing for some poetry throughout, it's very well put together. And right off the bat, he gives you a little bit of a setup of the history of the world, of the prolegomena system. And it, as I'm reading this, I can just hear the Blade Runner soundtrack. I read this alongside while listening to the Blade Runner 2049 soundtrack, and it was chef's kiss. And you turn the page, and immediately, unfortunately, you are blown away by some absolutely amazing artwork.
That's beautiful.
There's a pilot circling the planet of Issachar, and it begins to tell about his struggles against kind of artificial reality and actual reality, and all the nightmarish things that he's gone through in essentially taming down what it means to be human. And that theme really pops up and continues throughout this entire series. And so we get this brilliantly. This is probably this is the page that made it to the cover. This is one of my favorite pieces that Chad has done ever. And at the end of meeting this pilot, the short introduction, his ship gets blown up, and we are left with, we don't know what happens to him. We then go into an in-depth introduction to the world building of the world of the Silence. And Chad really thought this out. He goes through the entire history, starting with the first humans on Earth and how they ended up essentially in a universe and a world that politicized science to the point where it became not only a religion, but a tool to use as a facade, really.
Kryptonians.
Kind of actually. There's a lot of Kryptonian esque, you get a lot of those feelings here, and throughout, what I love about this, throughout the books, you get little snippets of poetry, some Bible verses as well, because there's some really cool parallelism between this story and the Bible. Here you're introduced to the two main characters, and this is really cool. Chad did not know me when he created this character, but this guy right here actually has a breathing apparatus. He has super strength, but if he uses his super strength, it breaks his breathing apparatus and he can't breathe. And what they're talking about here is a thing that's called Jubilee, where on this planet of Issachar, everyone gets an upgrade for their body because death is not a thing anymore. It's a thing of legend. All of these people are hundreds of years old because they just every cycle they get something added to their anatomy to keep them alive and to keep them young and healthy. And they are these two are debating on whether or not that is actually a good thing for the human race, if it is actually a facade, if it's all one big joke. And then in the middle of it, this is really, really, really well done. There's a quote from William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. And it's the whole idea is this rose was constructed in a lab. And in every way, it is a rose, but it wasn't made by nature. So is it a rose? And that is kind of what the whole conversation is in this book. If something artificially made but functions exactly the way a natural thing is made, is it actually that thing? And there's a lot of that type of deep thought, intellectual storytelling that goes through this. And here we meet Dr. Polaris, who is the scientist, who is the one who came up with Jubilee, who's creating all of these extra bits that people are getting to extend their lives. And we find out at the end of they come to meet him. That's where they're going, and he dies. He gets killed by some robots that show up, and then Naomi, who's the woman, she just goes ballistic and destroys all the robots. It's a really cool action scene. I love the black and whites in this. I wanted to just highlight issue 2. I'm not going to walk through it, but I wanted to show you why it's hardback, why it's so special. It's a 55-page issue. And it starts off, and throughout, this is a very unique comic. So he starts off with a prologue in issue 2. And it's got some graphs and some maps and things in here, but it's all prose in the prologue, and just some more world building history, really cool maps, and then he has prose narration about death. We pick up right where that pilot was blowing up from issue 1. And on one page, it's a comic, and on the other page, it's a narration regarding what is happening in the comic of prose. It's just a very interesting take all throughout the book. You get comic and prose, and they tie together. Very well done. Some breathtaking art in here. And again, we pick up with Naomi and Lazarus right after the robots killed Dr. Polaris, or so they think. And I got to say, of all my gripes and complaints about, gross, Chad Nuss. No, I love Chad. Chad's an excellent artist. He's a fantastic creator. I give this 1 out of 10. It is a terrible book. I absolutely hate it. No, I'm kidding. 10 out of 10. Guys, go get this book. I've now read this multiple times. It's fantastic. It's intellectual. It's thought provoking, and I have to harass this man as much as I possibly can to make more of it quickly so that I can have it. And I need more people to do that, because if enough people band together and annoy the crap out of him, maybe he'll make more than one a year. That's my goal in life right now. So 10 out of 10. Go to thesilence.com or silencecomics.com and buy it. You're going to love it. It's great. Listen to the Blade Runner soundtrack, though. Just trust me, while you're listening or while you're reading it, it's going to elevate the experience that much more. So yeah, that's all I got today.
That's pretty darn good. And with any luck, Chad isn't watching, because he'll probably be like, but he's so mean to me on Tuesdays.
I know. Yeah, he's not watching. He had no idea I was doing this tonight.
Watch this show.
He's got better things to do, my God. Yeah.
I have to say, I was professional while you're doing a review, but now your review's over.
Yep.
So are artificial things as good as the real things? You mean like breast implants?
I was surprised.
I even had to muffle my giggle.
I wonder what was happening there.
I'm up here with he went directly to to breast implants. I was like, what about butt implants and all the new stuff? The Botox for the lips and all this other stuff. So now in that world,
or just see Kim Kardashian for examples of all above.
I was gonna say, ask Courtney Cox, see how that's going out for her.
Yeah. This is I know how you like to mix your metaphors, Brian. You could do your version of the silence, but you could say it's like Botox, but for your soul.
Oh, that's great. Oh,
I'm good with other people's businesses, so.
No, I will say I do have the silence here. I just have not read it yet. It's somewhere in my stacks.
There you go. Yeah,
I'll be sure to tell Chad you don't give a crap. So there we go.
Hey, I gave him money.
That's right. And now Chad doesn't give a crap about anything else. So.
That's pretty true. Yeah.
I just haven't had a chance to read it yet.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey,
and
Brian?
let's get back to the comments.
Go ahead, Clyde. I'm listening.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian. I love his artwork because I follow him on Facebook and I see his work. It's beautiful. When I saw some sample pages that have all that text, I was like, I don't know, but you feel that it's organic and it works. I mean, it hooks you in and it keeps your interest.
Are you talking about like the prose alongside the comics?
Yeah, and also some of the world building. There's a lot of stuff.
Oh,
there,
yeah.
a lot of information.
So, yes, I would say you got to get your mind around that at first. It doesn't read so much like a comic. It's a different experience. It really is. I really like what he's doing. It's kind of just pushing the boundaries of the art form. Really, I enjoy it. I really do. It didn't bother me at all. It actually enhanced it a little bit because I felt like I had a little bit of a commentary alongside the comic book the whole time. So it was a pretty neat process.
Every time I see his art, I'm like, I wonder if I could get him to do something for me, like just a panel or something, because I really love his style.
Oh yeah, he's really good, and I believe you can. He is up for commissions right now. So yeah,
cool. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you just contact.
I noticed Clyde hasn't mentioned that to any of the other artists on the panel.
I know.
Yeah, you can always say, Chad, Brian Rodman says you'd never stoop so low as to do free art for him. And then Chad will draw you like the whole book just to show Brian up here. I can
no, because then he'll be like, I have 4 kids to feed, Clyde. I can't handle that.
That's right. And JD Calderon speaks for us all. Indies rule. Thank you, my friend. And Luna is not impressed, it sounds like.
Hey, are you impressed? Yep, that's a big no.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
It's Chad.
Yeah. She's like, I care not.
Bring that nice Chad person here instead, human. Anyway, Ted Davies Artistry says, I am trying to shake the coop. Carriers is now his vote. And Ted Davies Artistry also chimes in. Wait, they're the same person. I never see them together. Anyway, Chad Nuss is an amazing creator, and artists love his work, as do we all. It's just his soul we don't care about, and what happens to us, pretty much. But anyway, Sarah, somebody we do care about. I'm late, but hello, mwah, Sarah. Good to see you. I meant to call it or to write you today, and it didn't happen. It's on me. Anyway, Ted Davies says Chad Nuss has created the best indie graphic novel available on the market today. No joke. J.D. Calderon will be looking for you after this show. Mm-hmm. And Sarah's reported a bot already. Yeah, Backer Bachum has come from the front lines, and here he is. And in different voice, J.D. Smith wants Carriers too. Wow. And Molly, you might as well join the thing. Vote for Carriers. Anyway, Molly, good to see you here. Mwah. And hey, Sarah. And sorry, I was pouring bourbon and missed you and the bot. Well, glad you noticed everything. It's okay, Carl. We wait on you to kill those Russian bots for us. So we have 3 more reviews. Who is next? Mr. Eric Hawkins. There we go.
Yeah, I'll get mine out of the way.
And
I'm not going in Clyde's spot.
I do it. I'll be in Clyde's spot. That's not a problem.
Okay, it's a date. You got it.
Because everybody's waiting for the book Carriers, and I know. I do have a few things to say about the book, because I'm looking it over again and looking it over again. And it's like, oh, yeah, now I remember what really went down in this book and the things that I need to talk about.
Ooh, and J.D. Calderon goes, who am I looking for? You're looking for Carriers. Nothing.
So, I am going to review that one, but I'll tell you, Daisy number 4 has just been good as the first 3. Or is that 5? No, it's 4. Oh, there's only
4.
5.
We haven't got to the last issue yet. Last issue has not hit yet.
I have not read Captain Carter yet.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it. And this one, I liked it. I just did not care for the art style inside it, and that would be a Devil's Reign Moon Knight. It was manga.
Oh, I wondered why you were giving a Moon Knight a thumbs down to a Moon Knight.
The same writer that's been working on the series is working on that. So, I mean, the story was good. It was interesting. It was just the art. I just didn't care for it. It just was too cartoony for me.
Okay.
Yep. So I am reviewing an Image book, Little Monsters.
Oh.
Which is a cool looking little book, which this pickup here was sitting on top of my stack when I went up to the counter, laid it down, and the girl at the counter started jumping up and down. I've been looking forward to this. And I didn't even notice this was Jeff Lemire. That was the one that wrote it. So I was like, oh, well, cool. It should be good. So Jeff Lemire was the writer, and Dustin Gwen. Gwen. That's how it is. I had to say it in my head. I can't read it because it's I believe that's a Korean name, and I've heard poker players with that name and how it's usually pronounced. But yeah, and then it's an interesting little tale. And it's mostly which kind of shocked me. I did not know it was a black and white book.
Oh,
with splashes of color.
I like when they do that.
Nice.
Yeah, and the art is very, very interesting. A lot of deep, dark shadows and inks. A lot of spot in the blacks. A lot of darkness.
Yeah,
and it's a dystopian future. So I mean, it makes sense, and it does some great scenes of the rumble of the city these kids are in. There's a couple others. Yeah. I really like pages like this. Lots of silhouettes and stuff. I have a hard time doing it myself. I just think, oh, that didn't look right. But it's a dystopian future where apparently almost everybody in the future is dead, and the ones that are surviving are in this particular city are just a few children left. Now the thing about all these children is They're vampires.
All right.
They're all little vampires.
Hmm.
So you got Romy, Yui, Lucas. I thought there's a couple others. Lucas is a little guitar player. He's more of a teenager. Ronnie and Raymond, they're twins, which is a cute little thing about them. They know they're vampires in this, and the one twin talks the other one for jumping off a bridge or a building there, and he ends up breaking his leg. Darn it, it's going to take me all day to heal.
Yeah.
But they haven't seen a human in a very, very long time. And this whole first issue is basically just talking about the kids. Billy, there's another one. They introduce each one of them separate through the first half of the book here.
How do they?
Benji and Bat.
How do they live if they don't have humans to feed
Well,
them?
that's interesting you said that, Clyde. So we get to well, they're all getting ready to go down because the sun's coming up. They're all going to take a nap and go to bed because they don't glitter in the daylight like Batman. But let's see. Here we go. See them sucking on the rats?
Ah,
Delicious.
They feed off of rats. That's pretty
Okay.
much what they do. Yeah. So they have to survive off of rats. They haven't seen humans in forever. And then one of the kids doesn't make it back when it's bedtime. So a couple of them go out looking for him, try to see if they can find him. And well, they find something else. They find that's the cover for the next issue, I believe. But they find they find a human.
Oh.
Begging for help, and it looks like someone's already gnawed off his legs, or I can't tell if someone gnawed him off or the brick fell on him.
Yeah.
And that's how it ends, you know. And this is the night everything would change. You see the little fangs there.
dinner is served.
Yes. It was a very interesting book. I mean, it didn't go into what happened yet, but it is the first issue. I mean, it did very well in introducing the characters with the names and talking about them. They're all having little conversations with each other, interacting, and they're all really bored because there's nothing to do. They're kids, and they state that. I mean, there's you want to play capture the flag? No, not really. I mean, they are extremely bored. So I expect a little more maybe action in the next issue, other than kids jumping off the building and breaking his leg. I really like this for what it is, and I do like Jeff Lemire's writing. I've grown to like him quite a bit over the past couple of years, and I got to give this. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Oh, very cool.
Image Comics again. Go check them out. It's going to be
Yeah.
the best publisher you can find nowadays.
Next to DC, yeah, sure. Anyway, but thank you, Eric.
Ooh.
Couldn't let that go. So anyway, let's see. We've got some more comments here. JD's Smith, digital artist, get this man some Scotch tape. He didn't tear this one up. It's only his monkey meat that is still vivisected.
Oh, did that come out this
Gotcha.
week? I was supposed to buy
Yes,
that and
Monkey
review
Meat
it.
came
Yeah,
out
that's what's
again.
coming out this
Yeah.
week. Yeah. Well, you can always
Still
run
won't
back
buy
to the
it.
store and get it.
Nah, it's okay.
Yeah,
Gas
yeah.
is stupid.
No, I still won't buy it because I
Oh.
was impressed.
Yeah. Well, Leslie says, so having little monsters as grandkids isn't enough. Got to read comics about them now. Yes. And so Sarah says, oh, little bats are adorable. Just like you, Sarah. And JD Smith, digital artist, says getting pulled into a meeting won't get that carrier's review after all. Cheers.
That's what the
JD, thank
replay
you.
is for.
Yeah, really. You can come
Yeah.
back and watch us on the rerun. We're about an hour and 13 minutes in. So start.
And when you do, leave a comment because it helps the algorithm.
That's true.
Indeed.
Thank you. Thank you, JD. Anyway, Sarah, I was actually planning on getting little monsters this week. Well, there you go. And here we go. Ted Davies is anti-vampire here, apparently. Snot gobblers, bloodsuckers, vampire scum.
Wow.
All right.
Well, there goes my monetization. And Sarah goes, how do you really feel, Ted? If Ted weren't so repressed, hiding his feelings. So,
Right.
oh, poor man. But anyway, thank you, Eric. That was awesome.
Oh, you're welcome.
And let's see, I'm
Ted,
prepping
that's-
my review.
It's like Ted Van Helsing there. I don't know.
Or Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Ted, either one. So anyway, as Joe D. McFee's warm-up act now, I will take the podium here, and I got some stuff to review. It's a light week for me because I'm picky, and DC can only produce so much good stuff, Anyway, real fast here. Of course, Knights of the Dinner Table with another great homage cover by Brian and Brendan Frame. This one's based on an old Justice League cover. And Gary Jackson is auctioning off the Knights there. So good stuff in here. BA is gearing up for another campaign after some time away from the Game Master's table. But there's cartoons and game reviews, book reviews, characters information you can use on any of your games. This one, I'm going to give this one like an 8.5 out of 10. Because it's strictly a transition one, and they've been doing so many good emotional stories about the Knights lately that this one, going back to the game, almost seems like a step backwards, but still entertaining, still fun. I liked it. And of course, we got to say, Superman, Son of Kal-El, still one of the most entertaining comics on the stands now. But what's really cool about this is Tom Taylor has been writing Nightwing for about 6 months now, Clyde?
Yep.
Yeah, about 6 months. And his artist assistant on this is Bruno Redondo, who was also Taylor's artist on the Injustice series based on the video game, which I play Injustice 2. It's really entertaining. Why did that turn yellow when I did that? Anyway, check it out. This is a further team up between John Kent and Nightwing, as they form their own dynamic duo here. And there's just all kinds of great stuff here. And I think this one panel here, it's worth the whole price of admission. Nightwing is thrown over the side of a building by some super villains. You've seen this, right, Clyde?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? Anyway, this one super villain tells the other, well, you want to wait and watch him hit the ground? He goes, well, of course. And so he thinks he's getting rid of Nightwing, but as you can see, Nightwing is not really concerned. He's smiling as his buddy John comes up and proceeds to kick Butte. But lots of twists, beautiful, beautiful art. Look at that. Yes, somebody is dumb enough to headbutt Superman.
Nobody wins in a headbutt.
I know. I always go for the headbutt, darn them. But anyway, great artwork by Bruno Redondo. And, correct me since I don't get previews or really follow this stuff. Is Bruno Redondo switching over to Superman?
I don't know.
Okay, the reason I said that was like back in the, I think it was like early 80s, I think, or late 70s, John Byrne was writing and drawing Alpha Flight for Marvel Comics, the original Alpha Flight series. And at the same time, Bill Mantlo and I think it was Mike Mignola, actually, inked by Jerry Talaic, were doing Alpha Flight. And there was a team up between the two books. And when the team up was done, John Byrne had switched over to the Hulk, and Bill Mantlo was now writing the Incredible Hulk. It was a very graceful handoff of the baton there. And I was wondering if maybe this would be the case, because I love Redondo's artwork. I give that one a 10 out of 10. It is good, good stuff. And I want to point this out. Diamond is way behind because of COVID on delivering. I love Doctor Who. And this issue is from, normally they're about 3 months behind. This one is from, I know it's still 2021. It's something, November 2021. Okay. It's missed a lot of issues in the interim, but I want to say something really nice, because one thing that Doctor Who has had for the longest time is a comic book section. And Dave Gibbons was the original artist on the Doctor Who thing here, with John Wagner of Judge Dredd fame, and followed by Alan Moore of Everything Else fame. Grant Morrison has written for him. I think Neil Gaiman has. Really good stuff. But in this one, we have an adventure of the current Doctor, Jodie Whittaker, and our friend Russ Leach supplied the artwork.
All right.
Yeah, if you follow like Sunday Funnies and a lot of the stuff that Randy Zimmerman does, he is a top flight artist. He's been posting some of his art on Instagram, and it is breathtakingly beautiful. But anyway, he draws this adventure and does a super job of it. So definitely like this. I like the magazine anyway. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 simply because it's Doctor Who, and that's all you need to know. And plus, it has Russ Leach in it, so check it out. Also, this is the time I should have gotten the link to it, but there is I can't remember the name of the campaign, but it's a group of creators who are selling books that were allegedly to have gone to Spencer Gifts. It's a long story. We're not covering it. I'm sorry?
The long shots.
Thank you. The long shots. Thank you, Joe. Do a search on Indiegogo, I believe it is.
That is correct.
Thank you for long shots. And it has an issue of Only Death Can Save Us by Russ Leach, along with some work by Luke Stone, Randy Zimmerman, J.D. Calderon, and I know I'm leaving out some other people, but these are the folks I'm friends with. But anyway, please check that out. And it's 9 comics and all kinds of cool swag, so please check that out. And anyway, the one I wanted to review this week was, again, I know you guys and gals get tired of me beating the drum for DC. Well, tough. Anyway, I like DC. I like some of what they're putting out these days. But I decided to get something fresh because I always like looking for new books, and I also like introducing.
Then why are you getting DC books?
Oh, you got him.
I like looking for new books, so I pick up Superman.
They have a new issue every month. That counts. Dang it, Eric. Anyway, we turned again to Comixology. Mm-hmm. There is some good stuff there. And I found one today called Astonishing Times. It's a Comixology original. And the premise is that this guy here is a reporter. And he's been told, you've published a whole bunch of articles about superheroes. Well, they're not selling the newspaper anymore. You've got to find something else. You've got to write an article that will convince me to keep you, or in 1 month you're gone. And this is a man who's got a wife. He's got a young child, and he's faced with financial ruin if he doesn't come up with a kick-ass article. And then he is kind of sort of adopted. But actually, it starts out here with Gold Rush, the hero Gold Rush. And someone is in their secret headquarters, and there's Gold Rush about 3 seconds later. That sets up the mystery in here. And anyway, it shows how this kid, who is the son of one of the superheroes who has vanished, one of the heroes catches him and drags him to where the heroes are now living. And it turns out it's kind of like reminiscent of Watchmen and what Ozymandias was planning. But it's been really good. The art is really nice. And of course, it temporarily sates my lust for Brian Rodman.
All right.
See? And I can tell it was Brian. He modeled for this because,
of course.
Who else jumps up on a outside fire escape like that? But anyway, the art is really, really clean, really nice. If you like Bruno Redondo, you'll like this. It's very simple, very easy storytelling, very evocative. Reminds me a lot of Gil Kane. If Gil Kane layouts with Mike Mignola pencils, how's that sound?
Oh.
Brian Rodman, when did you learn how to parkour like that? That's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, I've got a lot of tricks up my sleeve, Clyde.
And another appendages too,
Indeed.
as we heard earlier. Astonishing Times is collected. All 5 issues are collected in one volume now, and it was written by Frank J. Barbier with Eris Quinones. Art is by Ruari Coleman or Jim Bob. And color art by Lauren Affey, and letters by Taylor Esposito, designed by Dylan Todd. It is like I said, it is a Comixology exclusive. And while I do say support your local comic shop, by all means, if one week you don't have anything going, check out Comixology Originals. And if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can borrow. I think it's up to like 4 comics at one time or more.
Oh, it's more. It's like 12.
Okay, I thought it was like that, but Cookies borrowed the rest of them. So anyway, I can only give out 4, so we're sharing the account. But anyway, Astonishing Times is really, really exciting, really well drawn, well written, and I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10. It's worth your time and effort to seek it out. So, Astonishing Times, 10 out of 10. Yay, Brian.
Excellent.
Yay,
No one
Brian.
that's so much better than another Superman book.
Okay, just for that. Get this damn book. It is the best damn thing ever written, ever will be written. Thank you, Clyde.
And get
Thank
one with
you.
this cover too, because it's really
There's
That's
cool.
right,
no
you need-
rendering to the inks. It just outlines. Yep,
So-
Artist Snob is coming out.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, at least he draws backgrounds, Eric. Anyway,
Ooh, ow.
I didn't have to go. I didn't want to go nuclear on you, Eric, but you forced my hand.
Oh.
Anyway, let's see. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see. There's more stuff here. Actually, Eric and I love each other. We in public, we're kind of like Brian and Chad. Eric can't get enough of me. Eric has a picture of me over his bed. He's like,
I have a
"Oh,
picture of you in my bed.
Oh, even better.
I actually have a mirror over
Ooh,
there.
boy.
Got him! I got Joe! Yes!
Yeah. No, I just imagine it's like
I bet you are.
late at
I
night,
bet you are.
late at night, Brian getting cozy with Robin, and all of a sudden it's like, you know what? Wear that mask, Robin. You need to do that, right?
Robin,
Yeah, wear
Robin,
that mask.
Robin,
It really
Robin.
turns me on. It turns out to be a BK Morris mask that she puts on, and all heck breaks loose
Yeah.
after that.
Robin, put the fez on. Put the fez
Yeah, put the
on.
fez on, Robin. And I'm stopping. Believe it or not, I'm stopping.
I
Not
believe
here, I'm
Robin's going
not,
to get
but-
talk after the show now.
Yeah. Well, we still have a prayer of monetization. Anyway, Ted Dave's artistry goes, yeah, DC. No, just no. Anyway, and Justice League says Donna Carleen. I thought it was Archie. Same difference. And Batman is the only DC comic.
Apparently.
Yeah, I was going to say, the previews, I can't help but agree. Whatever 35 versions you like. Yeah, that's true. And Knights on the Dinner Table was created by accident. I guess you already know that, but I was shocked when I read that in the inner cover of a 50-cent issue. Yes. Knights of the Dinner Table originally started as a one-panel cartoon in a gaming magazine called Shadus, published by Jolly Blackburn, the artist and writer of the continuing series. And the fans kept demanding more. So he did some test stories, and eventually they came out in their own book, and he published them himself, I believe, first 4 or so issues, and then Kenzer and Company picked him up and reprinted the first 4 and continued from there. Yes, Eric?
I'm just reading Ted's comments.
Yeah, well. But I'm on Sarah's. Anyway, oh, there we go. Yeah, it's like our version of the yardstick. I get it, Ted. Anyway, but anyway, Nice as a Dinner Table is a fun comic book. Issue 291 just came out, so it's been around for a long time. It's flying in some pretty rare air there. And Sarah says, I have been on Facebook hiatus. I was posting some important things for people to know, so I'm going to have to pop in and see how Luke and Zim are. Both are doing well. Randy's starting to make the rounds and doing some regular broadcasting. And Luke is sounding pretty good. He's
Luke's
got
got his
a,
own
this morning,
show.
wasn't
Yeah, he was on this morning.
Yeah, he and Nick Tockert do a show on Thursday mornings called Nerd Bacon, and he's got this AMSR thing going in the opening credits with bacon frying, and it not only will make your mouth water, it will cause you to get aroused. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Sarah says, I was planning on getting the trade paperbacks of Spawn's origin story after reading the first one. I saw that there are 21 trade paperbacks of it. I could put a down payment on a better car or get comics. No. Now here's something else. You buy those, you will be missing one issue. Number 10. It was part of a group of comics that were written by guest writers, and Dave Sim of Cerebus the Aardvark wrote that issue that Todd McFarlane illustrated, but under the agreement that it would never be reprinted. But fortunately, the original is inexpensive. So, and that's enough out of you, Ted. Anyway, Carl Witzman.
He's got a Kickstarter right now, I think, for
Who
Cerebus.
does, yeah.
He does.
Yeah, he does periodically. He keeps saying, "Yeah, I'll never do Cerebus again." Then he brings out a new issue. So
it's like how many times has Miyazaki retired and come back to do a Studio Ghibli movie?
More times than Sinatra did. And Carl Witzman slurps the last of the bourbon over the photos in the bedroom. Okay. And Sarah says, I figured you'd know the details of Nights on the Dinner Table. It's still great to hear it's still going. Yes, it is. And plus they have spin-off books. They had some spin-off books about 15 years ago. And now they do one where they reprint the old stuff called Bundles of Trouble. And Ted Davies, Chad Nuss has been notified of your review, Rodman.
Oh, gross.
Snitches end up in ditches.
I know. I was gonna say snitches get stitches, but that's much better.
No,
all I can say is Brian is good.
Eric knows the real deal. Eric knows the real deal. Snitches end up in ditches.
I live in Illinois.
And Donna Carlene says, I have whiskey or rum, Carl. Do you need some? He says, I'll be fine. And Joe Bachman, glad to have you here, my friend. Good to see you. I keep catching the most interesting bits in this conversation while working on other things. Photo in the bedroom being part of that. Oh, Joe, you picked the wrong time to show up. I'm telling you.
Or the right time to show up.
Or the perfect time. That's right.
Right.
So we have gone through the gauntlet here. Now comes the last leg of it, the one that we've all been waiting for, and it's Mr. Joe D. McFee. Joe, take it away.
Now, first things first here, I have to thank Clyde here for swapping, because normally I typically go first. If it's not Brian, I normally go first. But to take this last spot is truly an honor here. The second thing that I got to say here is that I am quite disappointed here with all the so-called chatter about how bad DC is. I'm the only one here that always try to find something different that DC is truly doing and talk about it. I'm the only one here bringing up things from Wonder Woman, from Crime Syndicate, and everything. So it was quite a disappointment that you guys didn't vote for this one, but it's coming soon here.
That was my second choice, honestly.
But I have to give it up to the people here, because you're the reason why we're here. You're the reason why we're reviewing these books here.
They are.
So we want to delve into your choice for tonight, Carriers number 2. Before we get into Carriers number 2, if you haven't watched the review for Carriers number 1, which I have done right here on this show, pause it, go back, watch that review. Because things that in that review, we want to talk about in this one here too. Now, if you did remember what I said in that other review, there's a lot of things that we got to talk about, because now after I looked it back over, it's like, oh yeah, now I remember. It's like my selected memory is be like, oh, it was all right, and then I look back over, it's like, yeah, the same things happen. Same criticism I have about the writing happened, but we want to talk about it as we go along here. So the first thing that always throw me off here is the fact that sometimes they give you a little bit of a recap, but that's as much of a recap that they give you, that one little paragraph, and then they throw you right into the action here. Now all of a sudden we got a Captain Eagle Pirate and his crew in this Bay Area up in New York, and they're attacking, and we don't know why they're attacking here. We just know that they're firebombing a barge. And it was a relentless attack on this barge. And we see, they're burning down ships and everything. We got all the rats and stuff right there on the harbor. And then up here is like, oh my, this is really, really bad. What we're going to do? That's our ship, this, that, and the other. And, the main captain is still barking orders for them to continue attacking the barge. So one thing led to another, and finally caught the attention of our heroes, the carriers. And if you remember from issue number 1, the carriers are actual pigeons. And no, they are not really anthropomorphic. They are actually, actually doing this stuff in their normal bird forms. And it's kind of weird that, they're actually doing all this stuff, and it's being drawn as if they're, in flight, doing it within their normal controls of, their normal appendages and everything, which I found quite impressive. So they caught wind of what was going on, and it was up here trying to figure out what was going on with their spy, the person that they normally have to go in to check out the surrounding areas. She wasn't to be found, and they're up here trying to figure out where she is. So Gladius and Fable was, trying to track her down real quick, and it turns out that she overslept, or she was still left in the coop and whatnot. She finally got the signal. She grabs her gear, got, what she is known for, her bomb, because again, her name is Cherry Bomb. And she finally reports for duty. So we have Fable and Gradius going out to where the barge is at, and they're seeing what the other birds are doing. And they finally engage the enemy, the so-called pirate birds, which, I thought it was kind of like interesting that going from issue number 1, talking about the mystery behind a possible, hybrid alligator, to pirates. Because that was the whole thing. That was the information that they found out, that they uncovered dealing with the so-called rat mafia, that the last time that they, from issue number 1. To me, it's like it was not a smooth transition one way or the other. But getting back to this story dealing with the pirate birds and whatnot. So Fable and Glacier starts to engage and whatnot, and trying to talk some sense into, and then, they happen to notice that there's dynamite on that barge, and they got to stop these pirates from detonating that dynamite, because if the dynamite goes off, that barge goes as well. So in there, in his trying to talk, sense into him, he fails, and they still continue their attack. Meanwhile, Glacius is at the port, talking to those that were originally on that ship and trying to get some intel of what they can do to kind of help. And then out of nowhere, Cherry Bomb shows up. So what Cherry Bomb does is that she was trying to help, extinguish the fire that's on there. So she throws the bombs in there to try to set off whatever liquids and stuff that was on that barge to kind of quell the fire that's on there. And what ended up happening is that she started to end up doing more damage than what was good. And she didn't realize that it was making more of a mess than anything else. So she stopped, throwing her bombs and everything. And then we got Glacius fighting off one of the first mates here, and Fable fighting the captain all at one time. So they're trying to figure out what can be done and whatnot. And this is the interesting thing. We got Fable and the captain going at an old school sword fight with their talons. Nice. And that's what makes this book interesting in that aspect. It's like they're not making them anthropomorphic. They're actually using doing things within the construct of how each animal works. So as this was going on, the last member of the group here, who goes by the name of Dark Dove, is monitoring the situation. He's up here trying to tell them, hey, there's media coverage on this. We cannot be seen in this format, meaning they can't realize that there's trained animals to this degree that's doing all of this damage. So Fable is up here. It's like, okay, fine, we got to figure something out, because if we got found out, we're pretty much doomed. And then that's when Dark Dove leaves headquarters and heads out that way. While all of this was happening here, this is when Fable turns around to the dock, and guess what we find on the docks? The so-called alligators that was in that file from issue number 1. And if you notice, they look more anthropomorphic than anything else. And they're up here trying to figure out, the alligators up here is like, hey, you're destroying our land. We need this land. What are you guys doing? And that's when Fable is up here trying to tell, they are up here telling the pirate birds to kind of like leave the land alone and this, that, and the other. As they watch the whole thing happen, the pirate birds eventually firebomb that ship. They eventually hit the dynamite, and the barge explodes. And then the alligator men were just pretty much there, just looking on everything. They're just taking everything in. And then that's when Fable calls out to the rest of the crew just to make sure that they're fine. And everybody checks in and everything, and they eventually fly down and talk to the alligator men. And they was up here saying, trying to find some type of peaceful way to team up with them. But the alligators were like, no, that's okay. We see what you guys can do. We're not all that impressed. We'll handle things our way for right now. And they went back going on their merry way. So after it's all said and done, they hit the water, they go underground, and they get this one orb that was on the ship, and they head back out. Meanwhile, after it's all said and done, they go back home, and you notice that they're all up in like their normal coop here they're not in their headquarters, but they're in the coop right next to the person that owns them, and they're watching the television, seeing the wreckage and everything, and they're trying to, they're up here like, looking back at it as being kind of like a loss for them. However, on the alligator side, up in the sewers, they recovered their particular orb, and you have a bird that's in the shadows talking to them and saying, yes, we have recovered it. Here it is. And they open it up. And next thing you know, the one in the shadows is very happy, but we still don't know what it is here. So with that being stated, that gets us into issue number 3. So overall, if I took this issue by itself, I would have to give this issue an 8 out of 10. Ooh. It was a good story for what it was. But when I look at it in the course of a 5-issue series, I have to give it a 6 out of 10. Because it's not really explaining why this carrier team is the team that they are, nor is the series really building upon itself correctly. It's always throwing you in the middle of something, not really answering the questions from from issues before. So it's almost like you're seeing the team always go in action. And as they are in action, you're getting bits and pieces of the overall story as it goes along. That's the real reason why I said you have to pay attention to issue number 1 to understand why the alligator men were there, because that was within the file and they knew about them. And they even at the end of issue number 1, they even warned the rats, the mafia rats, about the alligator men being in their territory, to be on guard because nobody knows what they're capable of. So now all of a sudden they show up at issue number 2, and we really don't know their true affiliation. We don't know who the other bird that they're talking to that's in the shadows, what his main goal is, and the alliance that was formed about them. But all at the same time, we don't know why this team of carrier pigeons is so important either. We just know that they're a group banded together up under Fable that, you know, are trying to just do good deeds for the animals and stuff that are there. So, you know, that's the reason why I have to downgrade it as far as the overall series is concerned, because those questions are not being answered. You're giving us characters and you're trying to make us feel for the main heroes without really giving us true backstory about it outside of Fable. Fable, we understand what he is. He's a war hero. But a war hero from what? Why is he the leader of this team? And why is he, you know, why is all the stuff happening in the city of New York? We don't know. And I feel that if they would go ahead and give us at least a glimpse or a piece of that story somewhere down the line to explain that, this mini series of 5 issues will go a lot further than what it is. But by itself, it's an 8 out of 10. But when you put it in conjunction with issue number 1, it's a 6 out of 10. And that's the way that the cookie crumbles in this. It's like sometimes people could write a good single issue, but it brings down the overall series.
Okay. Very nice, Joe. Thank you very much, man.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Good one. And now we have some more comments. Ted Davies is accusing Eric of being the mafia director of the Fab Five. Sounds right.
Nothing to say about that. No comment.
That's right. So we got to turn off our cameras. Eric wants us to kiss his ring real fast.
Batman, Catwoman. That's okay. Again, it's still a Batman title, but it's still, as a person who used to buy Catwoman as a series, because again, her series really didn't have anything to do with Batman.
Yeah.
Throughout the 3 or 4 different volumes of it.
Yeah.
Good series. Same thing with Gotham Sirens. Really didn't have much to do with Batman, even though they were Batman villains. Still good series. So those are the weird type of things here. Another series, if you could go back into like the late 80s or even the late early 2000s with Challengers of the Unknown. That's another weird DC series that is not Batman related or Superman related that people can grab onto, but nobody wants to look at that because, like I said, DC has that old man comic syndrome to it.
Well, no, I will deny that. I know that I have some friends that work there, and I know that one of the reasons they don't reprint a lot of old material sometimes, they don't want fans to find out how good it was. You know, so you know, there is that. And I'm not, you know, I like DC. I grew up on DC. DC helped me to read. So I'm very fond of them, but I will admit I don't buy everything from DC. It's mostly just the super titles and 1 or 2 extras. But you know, so anyway,
I was quite the opposite. I grew up on Marvel, and I started to appreciate DC once my grandmother started getting me into Wonder Woman.
Right. There you
Because
go.
if it wasn't for that, I would have never known about Challengers of the Unknown. I would have never known about Doom Patrol. I would have known about all the offshoot books.
Yeah.
I was never a Superman or Batman fan.
Yeah.
That just didn't appeal to me.
Well, I grew up with George Reeves. You know, that was my gateway. So Sarah says got to run, but definitely wanted to pop in. Love you. Yeah. That's Brian Rodman is drinking his Kool-Aid from that one, and I'm glad to see you doing that. Anyway, Sarah's got to run, but definitely wanted to pop in. Love you guys. Love you too, hon. Well, we'll be talking soon. And a kaboom, an earth-shattering kaboom from Cindy Kep there. and Clyde, oh no, they got you too, Clyde. Oh dear God, no. And any sign of Bobby, Pesto, or Squid from Animaniacs?
Good feathers.
Good one. And Old Man Comic Syndrome, I love
Is Rodman
that.
on mute? 'Cause I keep seeing his mouth move, but I never hear anything.
I don't know. He might be.
Rodman on mute? 'Cause I keep seeing his mouth move, but I never hear anything. 'Cause I keep seeing his mouth move, but I never hear anything. 'Cause I keep seeing his mouth move, but I never hear anything.
Okay.
He playing with you. He's messing
My mic was.
Uh-huh.
I didn't realize that.
Lost.
So there we go.
Lost to the ages.
I thought he
guess-
was messing with us there. Like, okay, I guess there's a stick to it. I don't know.
I'm looking at it too. It's like, oh, I better laugh. He's my friend.
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate that. No, what I was saying was I hate Batman so much. He's so
I can
terrible.
tell.
I
can tell.
can't stand him. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know what you mean. You know, it's like you'll never find Batman stuff in my house. You'll never catch me writing for it. That's for sure. Not only that, but you'll never catch me writing again for it. All available on Amazon. Check it out. You'll love it. And I will have them when I go to Saluki Con and SI Comic Con for Saturday. Oh, that's pretty,
yeah.
Eric. That's pretty.
Ooh.
That's pretty.
They're nice.
I like it. I
There's,
like it.
okay, there's a Batman shelf, a Superman shelf, and a half Flash shelf over here.
Half flashing.
Yeah, half Flash. Yeah, it's a bunch of half naked figures.
Excellent.
Half naked.
That's more to like it. So anyway, we have caught up with the comments. Gentlemen, we've got a couple minutes left. Did you have anything you wanted to discuss? Oh, now we're talking. There we go. That's nice.
Yeah.
Cool, Eric.
I forget what these were called, but I caught them at GameStop for like 80% off. They were usually like a $80 figure.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But trying to find a GameStop anymore. And Cindy Kemp says, I might enjoy Batman more if it hadn't been made into a gazillion 0.6 and a third movies that cover the origin story. Good point.
The new one is not an origin story.
That's what I heard.
It is not, and it does a good job. It is essentially 7 with Batman.
I don't know how you have a Batman movie without Martha and
The Vandellas.
Well,
Thomas.
Thomas,
thank you. Thomas
Yeah.
get killed in the beginning.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: they're in it, but they don't die in it.
What?
What?
Boom! Go see it.
Bye. Oh.
Flashpoint Batman.
Actually,
Yeah.
no. I got to say there is a bit of a twist on them, especially Thomas,
Okay.
and I love what they did with it.
Cool.
You'll know what I said. You'll know what I mean.
Well, you know, I'm thinking about that, and I remember, what is it, about 15 years ago when J.J. Abrams, who I wasn't that familiar with at the time, did a treatment for a Superman film in which
Yeah.
Krypton did not blow up.
Yeah, I remember that. And
Yeah,
wasn't
and I was
Lex Luthor was supposed to be his brother or something like that?
Yeah. I admit I lost my poop over it, but
Yeah. I wasn't
Yeah.
a fan of that idea.
no, I wasn't either. But since then, you know, Abrams has done so many really good things
Yeah.
that
You
I
just
would
can't
almost
finish anything.
Yeah.
Well, there's that. There is that. Well, it was. They're talking about a brand new Star Trek film with
Yeah, they are.
with the new cast. I hate to say the original cast because most of them
That
are dead
reminds me,
now.
I still have to watch Beyond, Star Trek Beyond.
It's I haven't.
I
kept
haven't
up-
watched that one yet.
I haven't either. I haven't kept up on all the
I stopped
spin-offs.
watching Star Trek after the second J.J. Abrams movie because
Yeah, me too.
that brought a tear to my eye about
Yeah.
how he redid Wrath of Khan, and it was
Yeah.
excellent.
It
And
was really
understanding that this was a parallel universe,
Mhm.
that everything was not going to happen the exact same way, and some of the choices that were made, and
Yeah.
how
Spock and
significantly different-
Captain Kirk was so good. So good.
Yeah. Well, the third movie, the one written by Simon
And what
Pegg, that was
Nemo-
excellent. That was great.
what Leonard Nimoy did in that movie at the tail end.
Mm.
Yes.
Because again, he told Spock, the Siler Spock. I can't think of the actor's name, but we know him as Siler.
Zachary
Oh,
Quinto.
Styler. Nice.
Yes.
Yes.
So
No.
he told him never to contact me ever, because nobody needs to know that I'm here in this universe.
Uh-huh.
When he contacted him, it was like Nimoy's face was like, "Really?" It's like you don't understand. We're dealing with Khan, and his face was like, "Yeah, sit down. I gotta tell you everything.
Yeah.
Y'all in some trouble. Y'all in some trouble."
Yeah.
It's like he broke his own exception for it just because it was Khan.
Yeah. Oh my
You're
God!
going to
Yeah.
die, then end up on a planet, then come
Yep.
out of a pod, and then that movie's horrible. But
And
when
then
you
there's
get
gonna
to the
be
whales, it'll be
whales.
great.
So much whales. We don't know why.
And you go and get that classic line. Hello, computer. Hello, computer.
Well, and I'm thinking of this keeps going. Next time somebody, the first thing you should ask is, why does God need a starship? That is one story that does not need to be revisited. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness.
As much as I love the original, the original crew and everything, that episode, that movie is like, and I'm a fan of Lawrence Luckinbill. I really love him. He's more than Mr. Lucy Arnaz.
Barrier. Why you have to remind me of that? The Final Frontier with the Great Barrier. It's like, why would God need a starship?
Well, because why should I suffer alone?
In a week of excellent trailers that have launched, Strange New World, that's kind of nudging me toward finally doing the CBS All Access, because I do like the look of that trailer. I mean, it's of all the trailers this week, is probably the least. There's some others that are much more exciting, but that one for an old Star Trek fan like me, I am tempted.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Kill him, Luna.
And then vacations come up.
I forgot to answer this question here. Since I did go last, I did enjoy this here.
Okay, good.
Clyde, just like I remember Clyde won, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If I couldn't go in depth, I just going to let him know that I did enjoy it, and I have my reasons to.
It had a nice idea behind it. I like the. I'll get the other one. Now they have a whole series of them too that are like tie-ins. I probably won't go with all that.
No, the main story is the key story for me.
Yeah,
because it really truly captures the two main characters that's in question, Amanda Waller and Ultraman.
Yeah.
And I could see that deal going down the way that it is trying to go down right now. I can see that happening.
Yeah.
Cool. I may have to pick that one up. Of course, Joe.
But then again, I'm a big fan of Crime Syndicate, because, again, to me, that archetype for a Earth works. Because that to me is kind of like the natural, I wouldn't say selection, but the natural scheme of things. It's like, if you really had that many people with superpowers, most people would be scared, not cheering on one, and it would be more of like you paying homage out of fear.
Oh, they'd cheer them on, because not to cheer them on is a death sentence. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's very cool. And we're still caught up with comments here. So let's say we wrap this up under 2 hours this time.
I think so.
Yeah.
It was a good show, fellas.
Very good show. And Carl Wilson, thank you very much. Good show. Must run. See you tomorrow. Give our love to Joe Dog. Stay tuned for on the Rising Tide Network for
Stupid O'Clock. And
yes,
you get to watch it on time this time around, because we
are pretty close to it. Let's see if we can do it. We got 3 minutes. Thank you, Carl, for everything. Glad you were here. Let's go around the room. Let's start with Joe, then Clyde, then Eric, then Brian, then me, and let's close out the show. Tell everybody where they can find you to follow you.
Oh, if you need to find me, it's right there. Right there. You can just follow that link tree. It gives you every indication of where I'm at and where you can communicate with me here. And I'm also looking forward to all of you joining us this Saturday, where we're going to be talking to Ryan Permisson. And trust me, he's not ready. I got something special for him, because it's something that we talked about, and I quote. And I believe he's going to like the thing that I going to have for him.
Does it involve Brian Rodman? No. You sure?
No.
Okay. Well, I'll tune in anyway.
No, it's something unique to our conversation. So if you did not watch the season finale of last season of And I Quote, because I was the last episode, you won't get the significance of what I'm going to do.
Continuity between the shows. Look out, folks. And Joe is a part of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Please tune into all of our shows. Thank you, Joe. And Cindy Gibb says, thanks for hosting the adventure. Donna says, another hilarious show later is all. Thanks, Donna. And Ted Dave's Artistry. Good night, all. Success to the Fab Five. You too, Ted. Thank you very much. Appreciate you very much. There he is. And now let's go to Clyde Hall. Clyde, tell everybody where they can find you.
Well, you can find my reviews at www.comicsbookcase.com. It's all one word. And the same thing, you can find my reviews at www.doomrocket, all one word.com. And you can find me at Stormgate Press. If you go to www.stormgatepress.com, you'll see all kinds of new pulp goodness that is for sale there. And you can also find us on Amazon. Pulp Reality 1, 2, and 3 is where my B-Man stories have appeared so far. And later in this year, we will have Pulp Reality number 4 coming up. So this is your chance to get caught up. And you can find me on Facebook at Clyde Hall or Radiating Positive Vibes with author Clyde Hall. You can find me on Twitter at CJ Hall 1984. Or you can just tune in every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Central or 7 p.m. Eastern Time for Comic Book Spectrum.
Most excellent. Thank you so much, Clyde. Appreciate it. And that leaves now the Pro Slayer, Eric S. Hawkins.
Hey, you can find me on all social medias. Just look up my name. Creator of Zombie for World Oz coming out in April. The new issue number 4, along with a trade of issues 1, 2, and 3. Plus, I mean, we got so many people in the community. They got Kickstarters going or getting ready to go. Rodman's got another one launching soon. Glenn's got an Indiegogo out there with his book and the stuff about Jack Kirby, which with Jack Kirby, great artist who drew backgrounds basically in one panel to represent the backgrounds in the rest of the page, but didn't really draw them in the rest of the page. Just established them. Yeah. And a lot, just everybody out in the audience. I mean, follow them. Yeah, there's the book right there. And
Thank you, Jim.
that's it. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Eric. Appreciate it. And now here is, here she is, the true star of the show. Luna, how can people keep up with you?
Humans. I require catnip. All of the catnip you can. Hi, I'm Brian Robin. You go to brianrobin.com. There's a link tree at the top of the homepage, and you can find all my shenanigans there. You can also find me on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network with the Dastardly Dingoes, and always, of course, here at Comic Book Spectrum. Thank you for having me on the show, Brian. It's been a lot of fun.
All right. Appreciate you being here, Brian. As always, thank you guys a lot. And I'm Brian K. Morris. You can find me at risingtide.pub, which we have links to our broadcasts on YouTube as well as our sales page on Amazon. Please check out what we have to offer. Latest offering is Oofboff Splat, an examination of the 3rd season of the 1966 Batman TV show, and it's a lot of fun. You will dig that book. Also, other books like Santa Sign, Volcana, and Skyman. A lot of good stuff. Please check it out. And also, you can sign up for our free monthly newsletter at risingtide.pub and keep up with our adventures. We're going to be hitting the road 3 times in April. So please come see us. We'll be coming to a town near you as long as you live near where I'm going to be. Anyway, we're a part of the Rising Tide Broadcasting Network. Like I said, we're followed by Stupid O'Clock with Joe Dog McKeel and friends. Great geeky commentary. And Last Man Standing, more of the same with Dan Hollifield and friends at 11 p.m. Then tomorrow night, we've got a whole bunch of great stuff. But go to our Facebook page for the Rising Tide Broadcast Network and check out what we got. And speaking of checking out what we got is a great love for our Patreon supporters who help keep the show going and rising and advancing. And if you want to see your name here, go to www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris for more information. And also, we want to thank Jeffrey Hayes and Plasma Fire Graphics. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. They're our sponsors for tonight. Please check them out. If you're looking for great graphics for your book or your comic book or to help sell your business or whatever, contact Plasma Fire Graphics. Check out their page on Facebook and then go to plasmafiregraphics.com and ask for the great indie creator-friendly prices. You're going to dig them. You're going to be real glad you got them. That's plasmafiregraphics.com. When the look of your book matters to you, because it definitely matters to your readers. And we want to thank thank you for being here tonight. Please leave us a comment down below. Check out all of our links that we have here, and go to your local comic shop and check out what they've got. There's a lot of good reading at your local comic shop. And we'll definitely be back next week with more shenanigans as we do a desperate search for the rails that we obviously never need again. Anyway, folks, thank you for being here as always. And as I always tell you, stay smart, stay safe, wash your hands, and never apologize for being awesome. We'll see you next week on Comic Book Spectrum.
Thank you for watching Comic Book Spectrum, a Rising Tide Broadcast Network production. Please join us next week for another look at comics, past, present, and future. If you enjoyed this, please give the show a like and be sure to subscribe and share it with your friends. To receive our free monthly newsletter, go to www.risingtide.pub and be sure to give the Rising Tide Broadcast Network page on Facebook a like in order to receive news about upcoming shows including Clever Title Pending, Stupid O'Clock, Clever as Hail, Comics Chaos and Sass, Tidbits and Scribbles, the Historical Fencing Guild, and never mind the Furthermore. See you next week.